Ooh.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is the producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome to the Marvel Hacks Season 10 or Season 11, Episode 9 of the Marvel Hacks. We have walked ourselves right into this freaking X-Cutioners Song, y'all, and we're regretting it already. We're going to be at, what, 3/4 of the way through by the end of the night as we go through parts 6, 7, and 8. Is that right? No. I don't know. Too many of them, y'all.
Shit never
bad.
ends.
7, 8, 9.
7, 8, and 9. Thank you. They still suck. On the line tonight, I have two Marvel hacks. One of them is missing in action right now. He may be watching
Stryfe got him.
Superman. He may be watching Batman vs Superman for the 4th time. If you're watching on the video, on the bottom is Brother Beavis. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Is it the 4th or would it be the 5th?
5th? Yeah. Maybe it is. Also on the line is Big Hotch, man. What's going on?
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, it's just we're just kind of recording here on a Wednesday night on Comic Book Day. We're going to try to get through these books as quick as possible, really, because honestly, and especially with these particular books, nothing really happens. We're going through 3 books, one Uncanny, one X-Men, and then one X-Force. Nothing really happens. We do get spared some Jay Lee art this week, though. Thank the Lord. If there's any one blessing here in their side. So, but we joke with Sandman, but he'll probably be joining us here momentarily. All right. So I had this first question here. Since we're in the middle of this, literally, can you think of any movie, TV show, book, or whatever that you started and you're like, oh my God, this sucks, and you just had to power through and to finish it just because you got halfway through it?
That's high school.
Yeah. Fair. You had to finish that though. Any book, media, TV show, you're like, man, this really is bad, but I guess I gotta finish it just because I started.
Well, that would be Game of Thrones.
Ooh. Well, I don't think we got that realization soon enough.
Yeah.
If we knew now what we knew then, maybe, but I don't know. I think we had so much sunk cost at that point. We were hoping it would turn out.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gotten a lot better about just like cutting my losses and moving away from stuff. But
that is wisdom personified.
Yeah, but that's now. You weren't always as wise as you are now.
I blocked that out. Though.
When I wrote that question, I was like, man, I really powered through Heroes. This shit sucks.
Lost.
Lost.
That would be
a good one too.
That season 1 was awesome. That season 2,
everything after 1 was
I powered through Heroes, and I was like, every week I was like, it's got to get better.
No, it don't.
It didn't. After season 1, it just it was so bad. Anyway,
so that damn X-Men cartoon is a power through.
Hey, you know what?
That shit, it got extra awful.
I can't sign
off. To be fair, it did get pretty bad at the end.
Thank you, sir.
Well, to set the show tonight, we got X-Men 15, X-Force 17, Uncanny 296. We get to see more of Stryfe's plan. That's basically really what it is. Much more of his mommy and daddy issues because he has a lot of them. And a lot more MILF jokes. So if you were here last week for all the MILF jokes, you'll be ready for the next one. So to pick up as we jump into X-Men 15, the Reaper has attacked. And my question on here is, have we seen the Reaper in anything since this?
Oh, since this, I thought you were saying up till now, because he did he was in with his tag team partner, Forearm.
Forearm, yeah.
Oh, not Forearm.
But after this,
I can't even remember how it finishes to see where the MILFs go after this. I'd have to believe that, like, he then after this becomes a candidate for like, oh, we need somebody to die from the legacy virus. Let's make a Reaper.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's just, he's like somebody you heard about from the territories that shows up for a few weeks and then he's gone.
Yeah. Our creator team is Fabian Nacia, Andy Kubert, who now you really get to see some full Kubertism or Andy Kubertism, because his previous issue, he was just doing a Jim Lee imitation. This is like where you really start to see his style, and the dude is excellent.
Still draws the same face on everybody, though.
Well, there's that. Yeah. The issue is the camel's back. So whatever. So the Reaper gets the drop on Gambit and Quicksilver. He's about to kill him. Havoc with the hot tag save. Wrestling reference, fuck you, Hulk Hogan. And then they Psylocke comes in and gives the coup de grace on the Reaper. Look at that pose of Psylocke.
She didn't even have to declare her move.
No, see, I think this must come much later, or not much later. It's got to be coming soon. But did you see that pose, Hutch?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it's I don't know what that is.
Provocative.
She has no ass at all. Ass at all. Completely.
Well, she works out.
Man, no. They can get cakes now, man. You can either buy them or you could make them. Like that's not an issue anymore. Like it's not Belmont anymore.
If it's a black or Latin artist, she got cakes. If it's not, then she got oobs.
Well, Boom Boom makes the save for Psylocke there. She throws some boom booms. She rolled 12 on offense. And she takes out forearm.
Boom Boom?
Yes, this Boom Boom took out forearm.
Boy.
Hit him with some the onomatopoeia is flum 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 as she throws her boom booms at him.
Her boom powers.
Yeah, and then Psylocke with the coup de grace on forearm as well. I mean, okay. And then the other MILF that's flying around, was it Dragonheart? Dragoness. Yes, the flying MILF.
Yeah, I think it's Dragon Lady.
No, it's Dragoness. Dragoness. And then Storm makes the line, and I must read it in X-Men the Animated Series. Voice, a contained lightning assault should deter her flight.
That's definitely something Storm would say.
Yes, and then it took Rogue and Storm, an Omega level mutant, to take out Dragoness.
And Polaris.
Yeah, Polaris had to get in too. Really? He sucked. So it's Kapow, I think, as they take out the crappy MILFs here. And I mean, everything is happening here with a bunch of people you don't care about. And Hutch, this would be one of these are the pages we have to pay for that nobody cares about.
Yes. Thank you for stealing my money. Damn it.
It's not great. And so so who's this dude? Now he made it into the X-Men the Animated Series cartoon with the little brown suit because he was a part of Sinister's team. Like, who is that dude?
That's Slab. He was actually one of the first of the Nasty Boys to show up in the relaunch of X Factor.
Okay.
Slab.
He gets frozen.
I don't know who his
reason for existence
sister is, or I don't know what the relationship is there.
Yeah.
Slab.
He was initially posed as a significant threat, and he just gets kind of knocked out off panel here.
Yeah, nice. So the other two people they're looking for that are MILFs apparently are Rusty and Skid. Very young MILFs, by the way. Rusty and Skids are awful. Okay, so I mean, I'm not gonna go do this background of X-Men history on Rusty and Skids, but they suck. They've always sucked. And they have to get captured by they're former New Mutants, right? Is that what that is?
No, they were exterminators. They were the younger mutants that were rescued by X Factor while they were still pretending to be apprehending mutants for the government, the original X Factor.
No.
Well, Skids takes out Boom Boom and breaks her jaw with a crack is the onomatopoeia. And they've been brainwashed, to be believing that, Stryfe is there, whatever. I mean, whatever. Who cares? Nobody cares about Rusty and Skids, Hutch.
No cares.
So I think I asked about their Marvel cards. How bad are they?
They barely exist. They're one punch out.
Skids had some agility, but it wasn't even clear to me that Rusty could actually hurt somebody with his fire. If he just makes fire, I don't think it actually does anything.
Terrible.
He's unearthly resistance to fire or something?
Yeah. He could not get his ass kicked by Sunfire, but that's about
You're right. But everybody else is fair game, including the police.
these are people that Nightcrawler could just walk through.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You are pussies.
The last MILF is a Jean Grey Madeline Pryor MILF, complete with the thigh-high boots. and I think her name is Strobe. Is that right? Yeah, Strobe. And she takes out Rogue with some lights, which will come up here in a little bit. But then Polaris finishes her off. I mean, it's just a bunch of fighting against characters that nobody cares about.
The monkeys.
Yeah, and then I do like how Havoc is deferring to Storm here, because clearly knowing that X Factor is the B team. Like, I do kind of like that idea that they, he's like, well, what are we gonna do next, Storm? When
Cyclops never had that lesson.
No, he didn't.
He shows up. He's like, all right, Storm, go off on your gold team. We got this.
Yeah,
Havoc shouldn't. Well, whatever. Havoc's been around for 50 years too. But oh well.
I did miss that line in there where Iceman and Archangel show up, and he's like, "Hey, remember when you decapitated that?" It's just like, "Oh yeah, whatever. We just kind of keep it moving." Like, "Oh yeah."
Blame the wings.
I have nicknamed Cable, Bishop, and Wolverine the masturbatory trio, and they are on the run from Department K in Canada. So we could make it up, dude, as they were looking for. I mean, that's a great shot though, with them running or whatever from. That's a great shot from Kubert. But then they yeah, and so they're about to get captured, and they do the body slide move and get them all out of there. Colossus is mourning the loss of his brother who died by the suicide.
He died like 3 episodes after they brought him back, too, by the way.
He just came back to die, man. Came back to die.
Yeah, it happens.
He does drop. I think I know where you're headed with this. He does drop a spasibo.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And he does say that. I have a couple of notes here. It says Strong Ride brings him some coffee with Jack Daniels in it. Jack Daniels is trash. I am not a liquor drinker, but I do know good ones from bad ones. Jack Daniels is trash.
Whoa. What? Jack Daniels is delicious. Jack Daniels is great.
I was always more of a Jim Beam guy.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels, it does make your throat burn a bit, but it's all right.
All right. And then, yes, the Colossus does drop a spasibo, which is really like the only Russian that we learned.
Which means absolutely nothing, right?
I think it means thank you. It may not be the pronunciation. Yeah, okay. So that's what, Nikita taught us in Russian.
Unclear if Chitota is actually Russian.
I mean, I'm thinking about this poor white dude from Minnesota trying to figure out where could he have learned some Russian to begin with. There's no Google. There's no an encyclopedia.
When did that come out? Maybe he was reading X-Men.
No, he's early. I'm just saying, that's just terrible. So I asked you for your Nikita Koloff memories, if you have any specific Nikita Koloff memories, since he taught us at least 2 words in Russian.
Of course we do.
What you got? What's a Nikita memory?
Him fighting Magnum for that best of 7 thing, and he whoops Magnum's ass. Well, he's up 3-0, and then Magnum comes back, and you're like, "Oh, Magnum's going to win! Magnum's going to win!" No, he doesn't.
Yeah. No, sir.
Yeah, the probably the best part of that is not a Nikita memory; it's a Magnum memory where he gets laid, because he gets laid out. No, he gets laid out in the 7th match. I think he gets sickled with the chain, and then he gets pinned. And then we won the rest of the U.S. title, whatever. Magnum's still selling in the ring, and you hear some lady in the background like, "Get up, Magnum!" That lady was pressed for real. She was way upset. But yeah, you got a Nikita memory, Brother Beavis?
Well, obviously the superpowers, and you did make it to Cornette's podcast with the question. Yeah. And it was awesome to hear them talk about that with the same kind of reverence we do, because that was amazing.
Yeah.
But then the other thing that I think they also reference on there was the time when Flair suplexed him and his dick popped out. Tommy Young had to put it back in.
What? For real?
Yeah. That's what he said. Yeah. But the thing that got me though is I remember him coming back mid-90s and like, oh shit, the kid's he had hair and he was all
And he
skinny.
had hair.
Like, what the fuck?
Skinny.
Yeah.
He was off the juice.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
like there's that superpowers thing, but like he never really kind of did anything after that, right? I mean, he had the U.S. title, but I don't know that he ever really did anything. I guess they probably never were going to put the belt on him or anything like that.
Yeah, and I mean, from listening to those podcasts, he's also didn't seem to be well liked by the boys, as they say.
Yeah,
so that probably didn't help anything. He never went to the WWF or anything like that. I think wouldn't he have like a thing where he married, his wife got sick and she had cancer and she died.
I think
so. That's why he left the business. And Hutch, you said you said he had a podcast or a TV show or something.
Podcast. He had a TV show.
Yeah, he got like super into Jesus and stuff too.
Right. He had a whole bunch of women around him. I think they were his daughters, and he kind of went to conventions and whatnot. It was a whole series of that.
On YouTube, by the way, not like
it was on regular TV. I saw the shit on TV, but then they started showing up on YouTube, and I'm like, is that who? What? That's Nikita. That's him.
Nice. All right. So anyway, so the Professor Xavier is still knocked out. They go through this baby Hitler, Sophie choice situation here. Morgan's like, hey, shit, sometimes a cucumber better pickle.
And unfortunately, Psylocke didn't get to randomly murder him in the time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we still haven't gotten over why she was ready to kill or whatever. Morgan's just like, maybe he's already dead. Like, we don't really know what we're supposed to do about this. And Beast is highly upset by this situation. And then we get the Stryfe sitting on his Iron Throne. And I love how he has this conversations with Zero, who doesn't talk.
Yeah.
Just like, don't be looking at me like that. Like, he's got a mask on. What the hell are you talking about? And then he goes feeds the baby, Cyclops there. This is a mess. Like, it's just a mess, And again, it's not like you can't tell deep psychological stories like this in comic books, but the setup has been poor. Like, completely. Like, it just doesn't, the motive doesn't make sense with the art that's in the book. She's like, do you take the food, baby? That's a good boy. I'm surprised he didn't do the airplane move. So yeah, gives him some gruel. And then let's see, is this how you nurse a child? And
I
then
fast
he leaves.
forward and open the next book.
Yeah, exactly. The Brit Breaker rule.
Rule.
And then he teleports out, and he has to go take care of the other person. He has to right this wrong, and then he winds up showing up with the Dark Riders, complete jobbers, total jobbers, man. Can you name a Dark Rider? We've been doing this for freaking 2 weeks. Can you name?
Only because they name checked them. They finally started name checking them.
Jeez Louise, they're like some poor Justice League villains, man. Like just random, just freaking. Oh, they're in a suit. So
they're like the dudes that the Wrecking Crew used to beat up in prison.
You could be a villain to shave off some time off your jail. I mean, so that's what here, take this experimental drugs. Hey, I got superpowers, but my dangling fell off.
Tommy Young had to put it back in. So he comes out, and then, this is, maybe I missed something or whatever. Okay, so Apocalypse has been out of his slumber a couple of times. And then he did some stuff, and now he went back into his slumber. I don't remember like him going back to sleep. He like woke up and it was like, oh shit, all right, well, we're good. Like, all right, well, I'm gonna go back to sleep. Why'd y'all wake me up? And then he went back to sleep. And so Stryfe calls him out, and then Stryfe is like, I'm here to kill you, motherfucker, blah 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 blah. And that ends that issue. Did I miss anything?
I think it's just like, how it is whenever you like lay down to get a nap, people come in and need some shit. Yeah. And then you gotta go like find another place to sleep. Yeah. And then they find you, and then to wake your ass up again. I think that's what it is.
These damn horsemen always waking my ass up.
Oh, Stryfe ain't worth waking up for.
Well, when we get to X-Force 17, if you look at that cover, in the previous X-Force this year, it looked like Colossus was fucking Apocalypse. This one, it just looks like Stryfe is just beating him in the ass. Not literally in the ass.
Apocalypse has not done well on these covers.
No, he's been getting beat the fuck up. I mean, maybe because he hadn't had his Odin sleep. But he's not doing great at all.
He had a bad decade.
Yeah.
Or two.
So this is Sleeping with the Enemy. By the way, an absolutely terrible movie. Just terrible.
I agree.
It was just on E the other day or Lifetime or something, and I saw it like just being on. I was just like, ooh, oh, this is a bad movie.
Look, can we? How about this? Old girl is
Julia
ugly, and her movies for the most part suck.
I'll give you the second one. Older Julia Roberts, not ugly. Younger Julia Roberts. Can't do
Wait,
it.
so I mean, you trying to say she looks better now?
Yeah, she got better with age. I agree. Yes. And here I'm gonna throw one here for real whatever as you ponder that, Hutch.
I'm pondering.
We were just watching that show, the new Ted Danson show, with Mr. Mayor or something like that.
Right.
And so there's a random. I know. Don't. I have a wife.
Yeah, you got a problem.
As a wife. But there's a random episode in there about whatever, and Andy McDowell makes an appearance, and it was just like my wife was like, "Wait, doesn't Brother Beavis's wife have an irrational hate for that lady?"
Yes.
It's like yes, she does.
Just
real irrational hate for Andy McDowell.
Sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't. I can go for that.
You can't act out of anything. Come on, man. She has
but Julia Roberts started looking better. I don't know about that shit either.
I'm not a fan of hers at all in any way, shape, or form. But I thought she looked better when she got older. Anyway, comic book fight. Stryfe is getting in that ass. Okay, so what are Stryfe's powers in his Marvel card? Because I see Stryfe getting offense, but no punches are thrown. He's just leaning his head into him.
He's telekinetic.
Is this the telekinesis?
He's telekinetic and telepath. So he is the offspring. He's the offspring of genetic manipulation by a Sinister of Madeline Pryor and Cyclops, then raised in the future by Apocalypse without the benefit of without the technovirus. So he is what Cable would be. He is essentially the ultimate mutant. So he has nearly unstoppable telekinesis and telepathy.
He got good strength too, right? He ain't a weakling in the strength department either.
Yeah, he's beating the shit out of freaking Apocalypse, who has no offense, keeps rolling twos. It's just a big old beat down or whatever. And let's see. And he goes into this thing, like, have you ever, don't know a mother's touch? Like, have you ever hugged your children? I'm like,
what?
Come on, dude. Yeah, man, he's really going.
Get out of your feelings.
Man, it's really
sissy.
Bad. You ruined my whole life, he says. This is really bad. Baby's tears, mother's touch. And then Apocalypse plays chicken shit heel and runs. He's just like, I'm getting out of the ring and I'm getting out of here. And he gets to the teleporter thing and he's trying to get out. And the Stryfe is like, no, you can't leave. And he punches him into the teleport machine. That lazy booking. That's lazy booking. He just knocked him into the teleport machine. Whatever. And then before he was able to do that, does Apocalypse's sword have a name? It has his whole face on it. Is there a name?
I don't know what the shit that was.
Yeah, just the whole thing in his chest looked like
somebody watched too much Highlander.
Well, it looks like a damn Fruity Pebbles on the bottom of that thing. It's all colorful or whatever. Not like, like a sword is supposed to be,
Oh, you didn't send him the link, Big Hutch.
What link is that?
Sandman. You didn't send him the email to the link?
Are you chucking fitting?
Yeah, I don't know.
He was on that same email the rest of you were on.
No, he was not, sir.
What?
Oh, that's terrible, sir.
I got it.
Forwards.
He was not on that same one with the Stryfe and all that stuff?
Nope.
Yes, not.
That's some
but y'all are figuring that out. Stryfe decides to pick up the freaking Dark Riders to make them his minions because, whatever. Hey, y'all followed the guy that survived the fit. I beat the shit out of him, so y'all are my bitches now. I'm somebody's bitch. The Dark Riders were really happy to join a crew. And then we go out to Grey Malkin. Wolverine's not allowed to smoke there. That's
no, that's awful.
Yuck.
Yeah. And then Wolverine gives the haters ball speech, to Cable. I hate you.
Hate
I hate
you.
everything about you. I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and nobody else.
They
And
will.
then this thing starts coming up in this book in particular, where this thing in red pops up to like emphasize dialogue. Like this is something that just starts in this book, and I don't know if there was it just starts like, why are we emphasizing like particular words and then and blowing them up in red? Like I didn't understand what that was. But yeah, so they're really just trying to figure out where Stryfe is, and then they kind of go through this whole part about who Stryfe is, or that maybe that's in the next one. Let me see what it says. Stryfe. We all know this is. Oh, wait a minute. Why y'all? Wait. Oh yeah, they're trying to figure out why they got the same face, and then later on they'll explain this or whatever. But we go over Stryfe's history in the future. He was on 3806. Like that's a long time from now. But what's fucked up though is like you look at that, like we're reading this book in 1991. We're reviewing it in 2021. And then sometimes we'll go back and watch, what is it, the Herculoids and shit, and we're like, in the year 2021. Ooh, wait, what?
Yeah. We're never gonna see this show and think that.
Never ever.
Yeah, because they had to send him into the future to save him from the techno-organic virus.
Yeah.
They thought he was gonna die, so they cloned him. The Stryfe is the clone. And then he was raised by Apocolypse, and Clan Ascani spirited away the legitimate offspring of Cyclops and Madeline Pryor.
Yeah.
Kind of sound like Game of Thrones.
Pretty much. The Lost Targaryen.
Yeah, but some of Ascani's son BS is BS. If you're on the video version of this, Sandman just joined us, man. What's happening, bro?
What's up?
Hutch forgot to send you the link to get into this.
I was calmly waiting. I was like, well,
that's I cannot believe them shit.
You sent it to the producer twice.
So I mean, if y'all don't want me here, y'all can just
got
tell
like
me. I'm a big boy.
This is also true.
Well, I was like, man, I want to run this guy, but if he's in a ditch somewhere, I'm gonna feel terrible about it later. So
we did make our requisite watching Batman versus Superman joke though. So
you did take
it. Hell with all y'all. Go ahead.
We thought you were playing video games. That's actually where we were. You're like, no, I got a good game going.
Yeah, if you miss the show, you get run, huh?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
It happened. Sorry.
So anyway, so we go back to Xavier's anatomy, and they're in the medical ward, and they're just going over everything, and Boom Boom still talking shit after getting her jaw broke. Fucking she. Like, I mean, we could wire her shut, and she's still talking shit.
And this is the second jaw break because Polaris has had a broken jaw too. So I don't know. One of the creators just also had the same experience and wanted to share it with us or what.
Right. You can still talk.
Well, then they asked Havoc to go talk to the mid-carders that are in jail and in the danger room.
Cannonball.
Because they're upset. Yeah, Cannonball, excuse me. Havoc asked Cannonball to go to talk to them. And then, we get this thing. And there's a continuity error here. Because they're like, Moira and Beast are trying to, take out the techno-organic virus or whatever, from where it started, right in his head. And I'm pretty sure Xavier got shot in the chest.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know how they forgot about that.
Yeah. So I think it's also then safe to assume that Apocolypse only got out of the pod once, and they just kept forgetting and put him in it like 4 more times.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm asleep.
2 or 3 different books at work at the same time. So one of the damn sub editors fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, and there should be obviously an editor over these types of things, and I'm sure it is. I mean, it's just like how people wind up having coffee cups. A sky, from that thing on Game of Thrones where the lady's got a whole ass coffee cup sitting there, and on the table. It just happens. But man, you would think a little bit better, but I don't know. All right, so Rain goes in to talk to all the prisoners. And remember, they put them in the uniforms. The X-Men don't fuck with her no more. I love that part. Now, here, take these shitty uniforms. We're not wearing these no more. We got a reboot. And then uniform. Siren and Multiple Man used to smash. Anybody know anything about this?
We covered this already. I think I had to been on Muir Island.
But it was only
goes on Muir Island.
Wasn't, but his duplicate was smashing. It wasn't actually him.
No.
Kind of fucked up.
That is funny.
That's like his version of the Jimmy.
Disgusting.
Kind of messed up. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. So this duplicate's just out fucking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, get in where you fit in.
Man, that's kind of messed up. So anyway, so Stryfe is walking through, spying on his parents.
What is his face
mm,
when he
yeah.
looks on the monitor? What is this face that he makes?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he
Just took a
happy?
shit.
Yeah,
Out of poop?
yeah. I don't know. He puts his freaking tin hat back on, and then we learn that he has actually been. There's not a mutant power dampener. He's actually been suppressing the powers with him. You know, and he must be really powerful because he's holding back Jean's powers. My powers completely suck, but Jean's powers are like, you know, whatever. Like they're great, and so you know, so they go hand in hand to try to make their escape. And then when Apocalypse teleported, he wound up teleporting to the X Mansion, and you know he's there. He needs help from the X-Men to go defeat their enemy. Of course, that pisses off Archangel, and he shoots his freaking jizz at Apocalypse. Doesn't do anything, but he's like, "Hey, we need to defeat him together." You know, and that's X-Force 17. Anything that I missed in this particular issue?
Unfortunately, you covered it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit too much of it, actually.
Right.
I know. I'm flying through them, y'all. I'm doing my best to fly through them.
You're doing us a favor.
I know.
Right.
It's not been great.
Sorry, fans.
Yeah. Hey, man. Blame the X-Men on this. And again,
a Sandman.
Yes.
What's your opinion of Pretty Woman? What's her real name?
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
Not the movie Pretty Woman. Is Julia Roberts a pretty woman? That's the right way. 10.
She has or had a good figure and okay looks. I wouldn't call her a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
She was acceptable.
Rewind the
With a
tape.
good body.
When did I say that she was a beautiful woman? Rewind
You
the
said
tape.
that the older version of her is all right.
She got better looking with age. I didn't say
So does
that
Death.
she was a beautiful woman.
Y'all were actually discussing this?
Yes, I don't know where we got there. It was a side topic.
I wasn't discussing it. This
Yeah.
is
Never
Good for
gave
you.
your opinion
completely
Good for you,
derogatory and beneath
towards
you.
the ladies. Yeah,
Respect.
yeah. Oh no, it was sleeping with the enemy. It was where the 6th degree of separation. Where you talked about that because that was the title of the last issue.
I like
the
that.
movie.
I
was
like
on,
that movie.
whatever.
He liked that movie.
You liked that bullshit.
You liked it, did that shit? Yeah. You're on
All right.
on that one.
Boy.
Let's go.
All right, on the cover here, is this the
Yes.
origin of bat nipples? I didn't notice he had these before.
They're very high though.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. This is Brandon Peterson, right?
It took me like 3 pages to realize it was him. Like it was not as bad for the first couple pages, and I was like, oh yeah,
it falls apart later though.
Yeah.
It definitely did not get the stunt cock later. So yeah, this is Lobdell, Peterson, and Austin as this. I think that's Crescendo is the title of this particular issue. And it just opens up on a ruse, you know, like, oh no, what happened? They were making their escape prison break style.
Again.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Off camera. How didn't you watch Prison Break? Wasn't that one of your shows? Huh?
No.
Are you sure? I thought you watched that shit.
Look, I'll admit to Rom. I'll admit to Dazzler. I'll admit to socks
Break.
up to my knees.
Prison Break is where you draw the line. Prison Break, really? That's where we draw the line. So Cyclops is mad that his boo is dead, air quotations or whatever.
Which one?
Yeah, exactly.
For real.
And then, you know, he just goes off and they get to make their escape. Now, if you're going through the pages here, will you notice that this is a big homage to Star Wars? Their escape here. They're standing on the platform out there. Like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. I just blasted the door, you know, like how they're gonna get out. And then when you see them get out, you know, minus the grappling hook as they
but she does telekinetic grapple, and then they gender swap. So he's he's the one getting swung. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Oh,
just
that's
a
awful.
complete. There's another Star
That's
Wars
Cyclops
reference.
for you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you're gonna get it in. That's what he does.
Joke's on her. He dumped her and switched over to
Dang,
the White Queen.
dang.
Yeah, he's not loyal.
Stryfe is watching this whole thing, and he's like, they're just predictable. I knew, I let them escape. This is all a part of my
saw
big
it in the
plan.
future.
He put a
before.
tracker on the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. Beast is upset. He took that
Again?
slug. He took that slug. That's a great bit of art, though, actually, with him looking at that piece of the virus. It falls apart later. I can't stand how he draws Polaris's hair. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like, but
It's
it
like a
doesn't look
bush.
good. Yeah, it's
Kind
bad.
of fungus.
Yeah, it's just not
Yeah.
good. It looks like the virus, actually. And so
And look at the coloring between this page and the next one.
yeah.
Like it's completely different color.
Yeah, and it's just messed up. And then it says, they took this piece out. I don't know how binary code works because I'm not that person.
0, 1.
Okay, so it took them that long with Shi'ar technology to decipher this code.
It shouldn't.
That is essentially what 7 words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It shouldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Like I am
Maybe.
smarter than you, or you're smart, but I am smarter than
Well,
you.
they just told us that Beast is the smartest person around. They haven't said actually how smart he is. I mean, maybe he's not all that smart.
He's
Smarter
good
than
smart.
I mean, yeah, but again, we've also questioned Beast's medical degrees and terminologies here because we don't know what medical school he went to. Because I didn't think he was that kind of doctor. Thought he was
I
like,
think he was.
But he was
No.
medical
He
doctor.
was.
A biochemist.
Well, if you're blue and you live in that house, you're a medical doctor.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler-
We all know that.
Yeah, Nightcrawler had
Yeah,
a degree.
Nightcrawler was
Nightcrawler has his
Field
degree
tech,
in
whatever the hell.
theology.
Yeah, but so Dr. Nightcrawler, Dr.
Polaris has her jaw-breaking kit back on.
Oh yeah,
again.
she does. Yeah, she's got that grit. Yeah, that's bad. Back on Greymalkin, Bishop, and look at his hair too. He's got the virus hair too, and the mullet in the back.
That's a popular hairstyle, man.
Man, this is bad. The
Look at that
masturbatory-
wound clearly
Flat top
emanating
mullet.
from the chest.
Yes, clearly. On Greymalkin, the masturbatory trio is breaking their heads on where Stryfe is hiding out. Bishop does the full Scooby Doo recap of what happened up to this point. I mean, holy cow, he does the full Scooby Doo with a hologram, so you can see everything that has happened. And then they reference Sinister again. It's like, oh yeah, he was in this, and then he just disappeared.
For a split second. Yeah.
I mean, it was super quick. And so yeah, he goes through that, and then we get to another freaking Sophie's Choice Hitler baby situation.
He
And that's
saw
why I
this
sent
baby
y'all that
be
skit,
like,
yeah.
kill it with fire. Look at it.
They were like, all right, look at that baby. I mean, that's
Yes.
if you. I mean, that's
Look how
terrible.
huge the
If
head
you're
is.
gonna kill a baby, that would be one you would kill. Look at it. It's scary, man.
That's
Yeah,
that's
I'll let that
awful.
one go.
That's
You were gonna
awful.
kill a
That's
baby. That would
awful.
be the baby.
Line step.
At least it's an ugly baby.
I'm not saying
Look at that baby.
kill a baby, but if you were going to,
I'm not saying you should, but if you were, that was kind of scary looking. That's like that baby in Toy Story 3. That's a baby you would kill.
Come on, that's
that
Yeah,
looks
to
like
let one go, that would
like
be
a
it.
person that's been like reverted to a baby.
Fucking
That's
Benjamin
awful.
Button in reverse. Yeah, man, the big ass baby head. Look at that thing, man. Come on, that thing is scary.
awful.
Huge
All
head.
right. So well, they'd have to decide because they say, and that's why I sent y'all that Dave Chappelle skit. Like, hey baby, what's this baby doing here? Like, it's really like, what's this baby doing out here hooked up to all these machines? Like, I don't know what's going on. So all right, let me buy 2 bags. So it's before we get back to that, Apocalypse is okay. This is where the art falls apart. How is Apocalypse being held down here? What's wrong with his body? Is he decomposing because he didn't get his full Odin sleep? Is that
What
what it
happened to
is?
the sword in his chest too?
Yeah, they got that
Yeah.
out. Yeah, Beast was able to figure that part out, but he can't figure out anything else. Like, I mean, but what's holding him down? Like, is he just? I don't get it.
I
Nothing
don't
holding him down. He's like he's laying on a slab of concrete.
Yeah, they got no beds for Apocalypse. Like, I know
Times
you
is hard.
heard whatever, you got stabbed, you got beat the fuck down by Stryfe. You need to rest or whatever, but no,
There's
yeah.
cheese
They
on his
were
chest.
like-
I don't know. Yeah.
He was like, beds are for the weak. Give me a rock.
All right. Only the strong.
Call
Yeah,
Storm Child here too. You better be careful.
be careful. Yeah. And so he's like, hey, I can save Xavier, basically. You know, we need to negotiate a deal. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. He's like, I can save Xavier. And they're like, no, he's got to be lying or whatever. And then there's
I'ma
this
go
shot
with
of
lying.
Archangel.
Archangel?
That's terrible. What is
Yeah.
he doing? Like, why is he standing like that?
Doing
He's
the
got
mummy
Bishop's
pose.
haircut too.
That's that too. He's got his wings fully out as if he's about to do something.
What's
But
with
why
the
is he
baby
standing-
wings
Yeah,
too?
but why is he standing like? Why is he like? There's not a beat boy stance. He's just like, I don't understand.
He's got spirit fingers.
So
He's,
yes, and he's
no, I think this was a musical number when they drew it up.
Okay.
So like,
Oh,
and then scene,
Yeah.
Archangel comes in singing about Apocalypse.
jazz hands.
Master of the Jazz. He once infected Scott's son with a virus that resembles.
Yes, he's like, oh, we can save him. No, if Apocalypse can save him, I guarantee it. He's not lying about this shit. He may be the only hope. And rebellions are built on hope. Okay, and so he's like, hey, thank you, son. You know, why didn't you just kill my ass since I was in a weakened state? He's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. Best
He was
believe
like,
it.
he was like, why didn't you kill me? Oh, I forgot because you're Archangel.
This is like whatever. And then look at that shot of freaking Apocalypse when he's after he talks to him. I was like, that's fucking Gary Coleman, man. Tell me that's not Gary Coleman. What you
Looks
talking
like
about,
him.
Apocalypse? What you talking about? Like that. Look at that face. That's awful.
It's ugly.
I'm
I mean,
sorry,
he's
man.
ugly anyway, but I mean,
Yeah, it didn't help. It
Dennis,
just falls.
don't
Dennis
help.
Rodman.
No. So Masturbatory Trio is back. And they're still trying to figure out where the hell is freaking Stryfe. Like, where could he be hiding? Where is his secret base? Look at Cable's fluffy shoulder pads there. Like, he got the little frills on his shoulders up there. You know, he's like, whatever.
Yeah, change into his winter outfit.
Well, you know.
yeah.
Hey, we gotta move these action figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
variant.
5 of them got so.
It's easy. And so as the art begins to fall apart, we go back to this fucking, hey baby. And they're like, okay, so let's see if we can try to save this baby. And then Stryfe is like, ha ha, I hooked up this baby. Is the fucking speed, you know, like, hey, if this ship goes less than 60 miles per hour, the baby's gonna blow up. Like, no, you gotta make this choice. If you destroy me, you're gonna destroy the baby, or you can save the baby as one or the other. And they're like, of course not. Hutch, you don't have the book in front of you, man, but there's your boy Sinistar again. You know, he does the hologram
Yeah.
in your video game.
Floating evil ahead.
Yep, cool Sinistar. And so, yeah, if you destroy the child, everything is going to work out. But they won't do that because they're
I hate
heroes.
Mr. Sinister.
Come on. And so, but it's really just this whole bit about, you know, it's such a, again, it's not a Scooby Doo plot, but it's such a weird plot. You know, like, what in what world would Scott and Cyclops be, or Scott and Jean Grey be like, you know what? Fuck this baby. I mean,
Well, it's because he's so misguided. His
Scott
opinion
might
of them
do
is shaped.
anything,
Yeah.
but Jean Grey is the softy.
Yeah, you're insane. Do you honestly think we believe we value our own lives over that of an innocent child? Yeah, this is a Cyclops that we're familiar with, not the one that shows up.
This
about
is Captain
15
America
minutes ago.
Cyclops.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Just-
And Stryfe is surprised. Like, he really thought to Zero. He's like, why are you looking at me like that? He's like, he really thought that they would just kill the baby instead of taking him on or whatever. And so, yeah, he's like, all right, well, I'll give you 30 seconds to make the decision. Like, damn, that was quick.
Star Trek shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, before they can do anything, they get attacked by the sorry Dark Riders. And again, nobody knows who these people are, and they suck. And then look at that picture of Stryfe when he's like with his teeth grit face. Man, he got a solid 70 teeth.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, how many teeth does he have?
In the
So
future,
he's got
you
a
grow more
sharp-
Got
teeth.
baby and wisdom in there.
Yeah, he's got
He ain't
sharp,
nothing.
Could be.
a number worthy of teeth there. His resolve has been replaced by doubt. Okay. And so Gene and Scott make a run for it or whatever, and then there's your other Star Wars references. They get sucked out through the hole like in Empire Strikes Back when Luke takes a powder after he gets his hand cut off, and they get sucked out of the thing there. But then they'll show up here in a second, and then the masturbatory trio figures out like, hey, wait a minute, he's not on Earth. He's in bum bum bum, and there's a little Sinistar thing again, and you see Gene and Scott floating outside of whatever building space
I
or
think
wherever
the
the hell
circle
they are.
jerks might be a better.
Circle jerks, yeah. I mean,
Circle
look,
jerks.
they suck. They all suck. They suck worse together. Maybe individually it might not be that bad, but they all just suck. And those are our
So-
3 issues.
And we're led to believe that Jean has psychically communicated with Wolverine to implant the idea of the moon in his head. That's why.
Why he's carving it in the damn table.
I don't think there are as many other planets around the moon as he's indicated in his drawing. But,
Well, I mean,
Well, wait a minute.
it's a profound universe.
What was? Yeah,
Hmm?
So
there's
that's
Planet
that.
X.
So yeah, I mean, again, we are 3/4 of the way through this thing. Thank the Lord, we will be finishing it sooner than later. Again, I did not read these books ever, or not ever. Well, no, probably ever, because I probably collected around the miniseries at the time because I didn't collect the other books. So I haven't read this miniseries, but I know why I didn't do it at this point. Like, I'm very familiar as to why, and I'm very happy that I
Yes.
didn't. So.
I did some research and I checked the 15 best Marvel stories. This ain't in there.
Is it in the 15 best X-Men stories? Because that might be a better
That was a
rub.
big bet to take. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's bad. All right. So as we have done for the last few podcasts, we're going to talk about WandaVision, and we'll talk about the finale here, the series finale. I do not think there will be another season. Doesn't make any sense at this point. Before we get into the episode, I want to talk about fan theories and why they can be bad. Well, why they can be good, but in an age of everybody having an opinion and a Twitter, a Facebook, an Instagram, a Reddit, or whatever, then they can be terrible too, because we're using another wrestling term or whatever. It becomes fantasy booking. Oh, okay, well, it's going to be this. And again, we speculate on what we think is going to happen all the time. It's not that, but we're also not writing 500-word think pieces on the blog or someplace else and investing ourselves emotionally into what is going to happen. Hey, would I like that scene Magneto? Would I like that scene, Doctor Strange or whatever? Fucking throw it all in there for the most part, as long as it's relevant to the story. But, just generally speaking, Sam, man, some people just went way, way, way out into the freaking blue area of the moon and then got super pissed when their idea didn't work or didn't happen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's all I was hearing on YouTube and on Twitter. People were so much enamored with what they thought was going to happen. It's like, Magneto going to show up. Pale Vision going to show up, which actually did happen. Whatever. I mean, and everybody was just crestfallen is the word I was using when none of that shit happened at all. and they kind of went their own way. It was kind of like, well, how dare they? How dare they not pedal to me and my fans, my fantasies, and fuck the series and all this other crazy shit.
Brother Beavis, again, we got a full ass 3.5-hour fan service movie for Endgame. I mean, full ass fan service movie.
Nothing but fan
But that was a 10-year build-up. So they wanted a full fan service and an 8-issue series that everybody knows is leading to another set of either movies or whatnot. And, why be disappointed in that?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the things that didn't happen were just kind of meta theories based on well, in the comics this, so I assume this is the show. You know, it was Mephisto in the show, so it's probably here. But it wasn't based on like necessarily things they were showing you in the show that then paid off. I think where some of my frustration came in is there were things that they were showing you that didn't seem to pan out. And what I've now come to understand is they got interrupted probably with just a few episodes left and then had to finish it in COVID times. And I think that significantly changed the structure of the last few episodes. And I think you can really tell the tone, a lot of things changed after like 6 or 7.
It definitely felt like the finale, Hutch, was, hey, this is a comic book too. We better get some action in it, you know. So let's start having people fly and do all this other shit and have this big fight. And it seemed like, wait a minute, like we were so invested in, you know, I mean, we as a group or we as whoever was like, what happened to Monica? Like, you know, she disappeared for a whole episode, you know, on the Agatha reveal. And then when she does come back, I mean, it's, you know, in a comedy bit. And, you know, and with Ralph Boner, you know, and that was kind of a letdown too. Like, what was that? Like, I don't understand or whatever. But I mean, Hush, what did you think of like kind of that part in fan theories as somebody who's not on social media but reads enough, you know, about that kind of stuff? What did you think about people being disappointed in the finale because it didn't cater to them?
Yeah, I mean, I had my theories too, and I shared them, and I was hurt when they didn't come to pass. So if people are on the internet and passing fan theories back and forth like people on the internet do, then you know I'm pretty sure they were all hurt as well. It did seem like they just threw some fight. They had to throw some fights in there and some costume changes and whatnot. It was. Yeah, I was a little disappointed, but it did what it did.
I mean, again, and brother, we were saying that of like I didn't know about the pace, the disruption because of COVID or whatever. The pacing did seem to just get goofy near the end, like it just did. Like the episodes didn't. They didn't flow like the kind of the other ones did. I don't really know. Like after the Agatha reveal, it seemed rushed, and you know it like kind of got through near the end there. But
well, it also seemed like there were 6 episodes of the WandaVision part of it because there were 6 decades of TV to work through. You know, and so that's one of the things we talked about. At a certain point, it felt like, you know, as kind of cool and interesting, and the fact that they did write it into the story as the whole TV ripoff was, or the TV homage, whatever you want to call it, like it seemed to kind of create too much structure. Like they took so much time getting through the first half of it, and then after that point, it just seemed like they just were kind of working through it just to be working through it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and again, I think I texted y'all or whatever. I was just like, I'm glad they called it series finale because every series finale sucks. I mean,
was that the name of the episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, go back to any shows that you can think of that you invested in. We've talked about Game of Thrones, that it had a terrible series finale and a terrible final season to begin with. But most series finales, particularly of like fan love shows, they just suck. They just do. Like that, you know, you can't. Everybody's looking for something to finish that show, and it just never gets to that particular point. So, except for MASH.
Well, no, The Wire,
like
The Wire actually has a pretty decent finale, I would say. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ended up pretty good.
It's good, yeah. It's what you kind of expect in a way.
Scrubs has a great season finale. I think Scrubs is one of my favorite series finales. Obviously, MASH for the older
then
folks.
Then there's Seinfeld.
Yeah, there's Seinfeld's bad.
The
How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother is one of the worst series finales of all time. Oh my God! I want to put
Sopranos.
Sopranos.
Sopranos
oh
is a
God,
bad
yeah,
ending.
Sopranos is bad. Oh my God, yeah, there's just some really, really bad ones. But you know, so I like that they did that. But to get into this episode,
Supernatural is bad too.
We have the Agatha reveal. She captures the 2 kids, and you know, we get this battle between her and and Wanda at this particular time, not the Scarlet Witch. And you know, the issue kind of goes through that. Vision shows up. White Vision shows up. They have to have their little fight like off to the side and get them out, and you just kind of get this interspersed between, you know, what's going on between Wanda and Agatha and White Vision and Vision, you know, having this philosophical discussion on who is the real Vision here. And you know, I mean, it's for comic book movie stuff. It looked great. You know, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't CW graphics and special effects. You know, they spent the money on this. It obviously looked as good as it would in a movie or whatever. I thought those parts were fine. You know, I guess the big reveal is that Wanda is the Scarlet Witch. You know, and Agatha's powers were really, you know, she was drawn there to steal those powers. She was drawn to that power, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to take all of your power because I know what to do with them." And you know, they have this big battle, and then, you know, Wanda had learned from this fight or whatever, and that she was a witch, and she stole all of her power back and put Agatha back in Westview, and, you know, turned her back into whatever 2000 version of a housewife that she is, you know, and okie dokie artichoke, you know. And Brother Beavis, you had a great part there. It was Agatha was releasing the people from this mind control that she had, that this fear and scaredness that they had of Wanda, you know, that could be a good basis, you know, to introduce like the fear of mutants or whatever, because Wanda was so powerful, she controlled the whole town.
Yeah, I think this was an instance where whether it becomes because she has the label mutant, you can see that, you know, not everyone's Captain America, right? So she thinks she's heroic, but yeah, that reaction that made me think of that. Yeah. But I liked, I thought this, you know, the structure of both of the battles was great, because, you know, they had very clearly made they had drawn up between Agatha had the power, Agatha had the experience, and Scarlet Witch had the power. Scarlet Witch uses the one lesson that she got to win. And I thought that was, you know, that was cool. Like I do agree, like the shift in tone and the over CGI, well, not over CGI, but the big hero finish was a complete shift in tone. Yeah. And that really isn't the finale. That it wasn't the point of the finale, right? Yeah. The finale was really the termination of their relationship, and her getting to say goodbye to Vision. Yeah. But even, you know, Vision, and I like the way Sandman said it, the pale Vision, because then that doesn't, you know, cast aspersions on, you know, white people who, you know, have been kept down and whatnot.
Yeah, that was exactly my intention.
The pale Vision, you know, they have this knockdown drag out. I thought they did a lot more with the phasing than they've ever done, which is cool, because that's one of Vision's cool powers. And then the theological debate, or the philosophical debate, that was, you know, that's not the type of ending to a fight you expect. So I thought both of those parts of it were cool. But yeah, it was like, it seemed like so much got left from the preceding 7 episodes by that point. The Scooby Gang was gone.
Darcy only makes the briefest of appearances. Hey, what happened there? I mean, it just
but I heard a lot of, and I don't know the extent this is true, but a couple articles I read was talking about they had to finish some of it up with COVID restrictions, and they had a break in production, things like that. So I definitely see how. So I think we should all start screaming for, you know, whatever the Snyder Cut equivalent of the last.
I'm pretty sure Disney has a whole lot of missing stuff on the ground that they'll put into a thing and sell it to us.
I think there is some sort of special supposed to come on maybe the 12th. Would that be Friday? That's on Disney Plus, like a kind of a recap back behind the scenes or whatever for the show. So maybe some of that will wind up in there. But I mean, again, so she defeats her, and then we get to the end of this where, you know, this world has to end, and, you know, and she comes to that realization, and everybody comes to that realization that this has to end. And I'll be honest with you, that shit is sad as hell. That ending, I'm watching it the first time, and then, you know, I was like, man, I'm gonna show this to my wife. I'm like, she is not gonna make it through this without tears. It's never gonna happen. You know, where they have to say goodbye to her kids.
I need to make fun of her then.
Yeah, well, I
didn't feel no sadness.
Well, she got on me for the hold the door stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
You gotta come.
So you're right. That's fair.
It was sad though too.
It was sad. Like, I mean,
it was sad.
the kids part was whatever. The Vision part, you know, he's gonna show back up, but like the kids part was just that was rough. You know, as she said goodbye, as the red wave, you know, it's kind of swept over and made Westview back to what it was. You know, and that was
Her outfit was hot.
Oh yeah, no, the
conversion
switch was we'll take all of that.
That was great.
Yeah, she was great. And again, I mean, I'm being the black dude on the podcast or whatever, you know. And again, I know this was not Monica Rambeau's story, but you had done such a good job of building it to a point, and then you were just like, and you just threw it away, like at the end. And I was just like,
well, not technically, they didn't.
I would have rather seen them tease her powers at the very end, as opposed to give her a partial transformation and not really do anything.
And then don't explain it, right? Yeah, it just, and then you know, she gets the first of the Easter eggs at the end or whatever, or the tags, and it's like, hey, you know, a scroll comes in and it's like, hey, you know, an old friend, Fury, like wants to meet you up there, up where, you know where, and you know, okay, so she's gonna get that. So, you know, she's gonna go off to space, whether it be in the Secret Invasion Secret Invasion miniseries that they're making, or it's in Captain Marvel 2, or both.
Right.
And obviously see her again, but I mean, that's fine. I don't know. As
long as she doesn't make any like crazy rants on
it didn't seem like a proper ending. And then, you know, she's like, you know, when Wanda leaves town, it's just like, all right, well, see you later. Okay, thanks for doing whatever the fuck this was. This didn't really, I don't know, it just didn't kind of finish that. Not finish, I don't know, the art just was very incomplete for me.
Well, so one thing that stood out to me is, like, you know, there's been so many instances with, particularly it seems like with comic book or science fiction properties, with the gender and race swapping for no good reason. And they swap the gender or race, and then they tell the white man's story with just different faces. And you know, I think Captain Marvel was a move in a direction, you know, with the female lead, but this to me was very much a story. And again, given that the climax was her getting closure on this relationship, was very much a story for a female lead, probably for a primarily female audience. And I can imagine that her experience where, you know, she goes through a hard time, she does what she can, she gets closure, but then it's like she gets sort of some lightweight support from those people closest to her, but then a lot of victim blaming and anger from everyone else around her. I imagine that's an incredibly relatable story. You know, not necessarily for us on this podcast, but it's just a kind of a different and richer story that, you know, is absolutely worth seeing and absolutely worth telling. And that was one of the most significant things to me, is that we got the comic book stuff, but that was not the story. The story was her finally getting closure on this relationship.
I mean, and you know, play counselor or whatever about, you know, that really kind of flowing through stages of grief through that whole process as well, you know. And how you play this, you know, trying to play that out emotionally in a comic book movie is just not going to work. Like, it's just going to go over the heads of most people. It's just like, either like, you know, show me the fights, or this sucks because there's no fights in it. Yeah, I mean, again, everybody's watching them for different reasons. Like, I totally get it. And Marvel has spoiled you and us because they have given you, like, essentially what you wanted for the last 11, 12 years. They've given it to you. So to try to go in a different direction like that, it just, you know, don't worry. Like, in 2 weeks, they're gonna give you your masturbatory stuff with
buddy comedies back.
Yeah, a buddy comedy with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, you're gonna get that right back. You know, it's okay to try something new and different. So, I mean, like I said, I wasn't unsatisfied with the series. I wasn't really unsatisfied with the finale. You know, pretty much the Monica stuff was my biggest beef with the whole thing. The second tag there is where we see her astral projection, and she hears the voice of her kids calling her as she's going through the Darkhold book, which is, you know, I guess some book of spells or whatever. It told the legend of the Scarlet Witch, you know, and obviously this is going to lead to multiverse types of things, Sandman. So, I mean, you know, that's kind of where we are, you know, Doctor Strange, March 2022. That's basically what we're leaning toward.
Yeah, I mean, they were always going to set up Strange and hell, yeah, what the Secret Invasion too. You got two series or movies right out of there, straight out of this to that, one way or the other. We're definitely probably going to see her in Doctor Strange in some capacity. I don't know how or what, but yeah, she looked like she was not done fucking with shit at the end of that when she was looking in that book. I was like, yeah, we're gonna see some more shit out of this. So,
yeah, when you heard Tommy and the other kid's voice or whatever, it's just like, oh wait, if she can hear them, that means they're existing on some other different plane.
They're somewhere.
Well, she's gonna want to get to that one to see what that is about and all that. So, I mean, I wasn't unsatisfied. I'd like to see some more of whatever the behind the scenes stuff is and all that. But I mean, whatever. I will I watch it again? Yeah, probably.
If
I've
you were
already started
going to
rewatching the
rank
episode.
the most convoluted character stories, backstories, history, origin in Marvel, she would be way up there.
Yeah,
and the fact that they just brought as much as they just brought in to a mainstream product that was received like this.
Well done.
That's the magic.
Yeah, that is it.
That's your sorcery right there.
Yeah, that's more chaos than anybody could have imagined. And hopefully, again, she'll move into those other movies. Pale Vision will show back up because he's got all of freaking Green Vision's memories now. So, and whatever. And again, I hadn't, obviously a modern comic thing, this idea, I sent y'all that panel that I saw on Twitter or whatever with Pale Vision and other Vision having this whole conversation about the whatever of the ship of Thesis or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's literally from the comic book, pulling dialogue almost straight from there. So, I mean, not that they don't do their homework on these types of things to try to get people to get pulled in. I mean, how many of them, hundreds of thousands of millions of people that's watched that episode, how many people y'all think actually read that comic book where that shit came from? Did you count the dude in the red shirt? One,
two.
Two. Yeah. I mean, had y'all ever seen that before?
No.
I couldn't even tell you where it's from. I just stole the panel. Hutch?
What's that now?
The ship of Thesis that was actually pulled.
Oh hell no! I was like, what the fuck is that shit?
I know that's what I was saying. I was like, is this the ultimate?
I did read that. I did read that limited series, but I never seen that shit.
That didn't have anything to do with this, though, right?
No. It was.
I was like, I don't know. I don't know
where the hell that came
from. I didn't ask. I just saw it, and I was like, oh, well, this looks exactly like they just took it from the comic book. Oh, bravo. So yeah, so we still got to wait a whole another week. Is it next Friday where Falcon and so again, if that's what you're into, you're getting Winter Soldier, Falcon, Agent 13, Zemo,
Baron Zemo.
What's that terrible racist
U.S. agent?
U.S. agent. I mean, you're getting all of
John Walker.
John Walker. Yeah. So you're getting all of that in some version, or just from the trailer, you're getting that. So unless it's a complete, Hulk fake out from the last two Avengers movies, you're getting all of that. So
I saw a meme today. It was like, I guess there's a line where he says, I know a thing or two, and somebody was like, oh, they're teasing the Fantastic Four.
Gee, that's a heck of a leap.
See? And then somebody's gonna be super pissed that doesn't turn out that way.
No Fantastic Four. Then that's the funniest part of this whole thing. Nobody likes the Fantastic Four. Why is everybody like, oh, we gotta get the Fantastic Four? No, you're not gonna like
the first family of superheroes.
Hold up. You just said that the Disney magic just sprinkled all over freaking Wanda Scarlet Witch and made it into something.
Yeah.
If they can't fix the Fantastic Four, then they're just not.
In Disney, we trust, right, Big Hutch?
There it is. Yeah. Damn Disney. But yeah, we'll see about them Oopa Loopins.
Yeah. So if they can't fix it, then they probably are unfixable. So, but yeah. So we'll be back recapping. It's the funny thing is these shows come out on Friday at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, well, there's no recap shows coming, y'all. Like, it's just that's not like staying up and us recapping Game of Thrones an hour after it goes off. I mean, it was on at Sunday night, watch it from 9 to 10, and then record from 10:30 to 11:30. We're not waking up at 3 watching it to 4, recording at 5, and being done.
That shit, it has to
That
be
ain't happening,
super.
Captain.
It has to be some of the best shit ever for some
Yeah.
shit like that to go down.
It would have to
And
be
it-
that
and
much
it ain't.
for me to get to me to do 3:30. I mean, I'm up anyway, but not for podcasting.
Not for that.
Did you what do you think about the weekly release instead of the streaming dome?
Of this show,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm fine. I mean,
it's hard to imagine what it would be like if it had been all released, right?
Yeah, well, you couldn't have enjoyed it, I don't think, because people would have spoiled the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And we're old.
I
mean,
might have cashed out after the first couple of episodes.
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
But because we're older and we grew up with that, like I don't think it's as whatever with us. I mean, shit. Is fucking Fonzie gonna make it over this shark? You back next week, nigga? I don't know. Like it's just gonna be, who knows? Like you just had to do that every single week. You didn't know anything about sweeps or freaking, any of that kind of stuff back then. You just like knew that show came on that Tuesday at 8:00, and your ass needed to be in front of that TV because at the time there was no VCRs and DVRs and any of that stuff. So, like to me, it's just whatever. But I'm perfectly okay with dumping like the first couple of episodes on there to get you started. Like I think that's what the boys did for season 2. They did like 2 or 3 episodes. Like
well, that's a good comparison because the boys got us up to the point where Stormfront was revealed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and I've said this before, I don't know why they put just the first 2 because they had only really started hinting, and so to me the third was always a better sort of break point. Yeah, but whatever.
All right, so we thumbs up for WandaVision. Anybody middle? Thumbs down? Nobody?
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
3/4 or something.
What is this?
It's arthritis. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, fair. All right. So again, as we start to wrap up here, so next week we'll be through X-Cutioners Song. I've been reading ahead, y'all. I've been reading ahead. Shit don't get much. We got a whole long way to go to get to before Wolverine get them shits taken out. Man, I was like, oh shit.
I got a dentist appointment next week about this. I was like, what's
after this? Not great either. I leave. How do we hold these books in such reverence? It's not good. They're not good.
If I was on the internet, I'd argue with anybody about these stank books.
Yeah, no, I'm
not
doing my best to argue with them. So anyway. So as we start to wrap up, as X-Men the animated music starts to play us out, I am the producer of this podcast. Remember, you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, rate, review, subscribe, all of that stuff. We're going to say goodnight to everybody. Sam, man, you get to go last, man, because you just got here so late because Hutch forgot to invite you. Terrible, man. Hutch, man, sign off, man. God, that's terrible.
Good night.
All right, brother Rita, sign off.
See you next time.
All right. Sam, man, you close the rear, man. Just back clean up.
So long, everybody.
All right. We'll see everybody next week. Peace.
Peace.